So welcome back. We have to continue. This is a practical session. I'm going to show you the commands that we have to run to set up the Expo and all the dependencies, all the things that we are going to use for our project. Right now, I'm going to show you what I talked about earlier with respect to getting the Node.js, and I'm going to demonstrate it on my Mac. So you go to your Launchpad, look for others, and then open your terminal. If you have it on your easy access menu, you can just open it from here. So once you are in, here is the terminal window, and I would like that we pay attention to understand. Now, the first thing I will point out here is that this terminal window by default will open your home directory. Your home directory. Now, what your home directory is here is the directory that is at. If you click on your screen, your home screen, you see the Apple logo where you have your default menu. You go to Go and you click on Home. The folder that it will open for you, that is the home directory. Now from this directory, all the other directories that you have, like your dashboard, your desktop, your document downloads, and other um, places where you can have files and other directories are all located, including, as you can see, the desktop and all those things. So whichever project you are working with, you can actually decide where you would keep the information. And that's what I want to show you. So by default, this one here is at the home directory, the directory I just opened, where we can access the desktop, the document, and other things. Now, to see what I'm talking about, you can type ls. It stands for list. So it's a terminal command to list all the directories of and files that are available within this current directory, which is the Mac Air directory. As you can see, these are the other directories. You have document, desktop, and other things. So if I want to say put a project on the desktop, for instance, like here, I can navigate with a cd command. The cd command will direct me to a new directory, change directory. That's the short form, cd, change directory. So let's say I want to open the desktop. I will type desktop. Okay, and now it has taken me to the desktop directory. So any command that I'll be running, if it has to do with files and or directories, everything that is going to happen will be placed right on the desktop. Right, so you have to take note that when you are dealing with your project, you have to consider where the project is going to be. So now, with that said, let's get, this is another command to clean your terminal. Now let's get the commands that we talked about earlier. Now I've placed my directory to what we call the desktop. Okay, as you can see, it's here as desktop. I can go back with cd and just do ... Right, this will take me back to the previous directory, which is the home, which is what we have here. There's the tilde. You can also do the same thing with cd tilde, right? That's wiggle sign. That will also work perfectly. Now let's run the command for the node. So with node, we said that we can install node with brew. Brew is this, and you can do brew install and you write node. I think the command was node. So let's use brew. Yes, node. The node at 20. Let me explain what this command is saying. Brew is the package manager, okay, on Mac for you to install, you know, programs on Mac. Okay, It helps you to easily install programs using the command line. Now, the brew command is the prefix command. Then you put in install and you put in the name of the package that you're trying to install, which is Node. The at here is a way to specify the version of the package you are looking for. Now, this is at 20, which is the Node version 20. And so it will download Node version 20, any 20 recent version for you. So you click on enter, you wait for it to run. So welcome back. The installation is done. I've already done my installation, so it said reinstall. It has been long since I updated my brew, so I had to wait a little for it to update all the um, dependencies and other um, packages before. But then it's done now. So to check if Node is installed is to just run node dash v, as you can see here, node dash v, and press enter. So now I have node version 20.14. So that is that. And you can also check the npm package that came with the node, npm dash v. This is the npm 10.7 that came with the node. This is the package manager itself for. So we are set, and so now by now I'm expecting that you have installed Visual Studio Code, you have installed Node as we have done. If you are using Windows, go through with the package installer, the installer itself, the one that I showed you from the page. It should be done. Once you download and you extract the zip file, you have the installer install. It will do the setup for you, everything. If you open your command prompt, if you go to your start menu and search, type cmd for command prompt, or you just go to command prompt and run command prompt as an administrator, and you can just use node-v to check the node version if it is available and it's accessible. If you use the installer, it should be easy to have access to node running. And once you check and it's good, fine. If you are still not able to access the node from your command prompt, even though you have installed the installer version, it's either you redo the installation or you check your environment setup, right? There should be environment path to your node folder that will point to the node executable file, so that you can run node from the command prompt, or your shell for window, whichever one you are using. So I am hoping that the Windows people are not going to find it difficult, right? So if you are still getting it difficult, you can just do a YouTube search for how to install Node. The most important thing is Node should be running on your PC. Visual Studio Code should be running on your PC, as I have here. You should have a new window for Visual Studio Code. It should be running on your PC. And once these two are installed, then we can go to the running the search for Expo. Just search for Expo and go to docs. So we should have docs.expo.dev. This is where we are going to be. This is what we are going to be using to build our Expo app. Okay, so and Expo is heavily is actually React Native. It's React Native with a wrapper. Expo just wraps some form of a mechanism to run the code without having to actually have a built version. So, like I said, which is the Expo Go we installed. So we can run the our React code actually using the Expo Go, which is the app on the iPhone or Android that we downloaded. And this is the command we are going to use to install our Expo app. So to install the Expo app, now first choose where you want the Expo, what do you call it, where you want to keep the code, right? Where you want to keep your project. So you can easily do it this way. Direct yourself to where you want to keep it. Let's say if I do mine on the desktop, so I've changed the directory to desktop. Now I can run npx and run create expo app. That's the command. Create expo app at latest. Okay. Now this command is so simple. So I spelled latest wrong. Latest. So okay. So now I'm on the desktop. Now I have to just name my app. Okay. So let's call this my first app. Right. That's the name of my app. And just press enter. It will run the install command for Expo, download all the necessary libraries for the React Native or Expo libraries that will be needed for you to start. And it will take the default template, which I will show you. You can actually create this Expo app by selecting a particular template. We would go with the default one because that is the one we will be using for creating everything. It is not a bare template, so it means it has some things in it. It has a bottom navigation. It has some few things in it that will at least let you see you have created an app. Okay, so and that is good for us. So let's wait for it to finish. Um, I'll pause the video and just record, and then once it's done, I'll get back to you so we can run our app. No, so now the installation is done. If you can, once it finish running the command, you should see your project is ready. Once that is done, then we are good to go. As you can see on my desktop, you can see the folder is here, my first app folder. That's the project. So everything that I will need is in this project. There are a lot of folders, and there's also a node model folder, which means this is a node application or project, and it will be managed by the um, a file. Okay, all of them will be managed by a package.json file and a package dash logged file. These two files you see here are very important to this project because it has every information that they need for the project to be created, run, and everything that we need with even testing and the rest. So it is important that all these things are present in your project. So now let's get into the project itself. Now, so to open the project, you can either run it from here. Okay, um, you can let's use the command. If you have installed Visual Studio Code, you can do a cd to the folder first app. Now I'm in the folder itself, the project folder, and then I can do a run Visual Studio Code command called code, and I'll do a dot. Okay, now Visual Studio Code would be opened within this folder. If you have installed Visual Studio Code, it will be easier to do this. Or if you have any text editor, which is we want to go by Visual Studio Code. So I'm expecting us to use the Visual Studio Code. So once you have your Visual Studio Code, you just open the project with Visual Studio Code. If you are using Windows, you can just do a right click and open with Visual Studio Code. That will also work. You right click on the folder you see on your desktop. Now, the command that I showed you to direct yourself to the desktop, this command would also work on the command prompt or the shell window for those who are using Windows, right? So command prompt CMD. If you do CD, it will work. Change directory would work there. Um, it's the same thing. The commands are almost the same on both Windows and iOS. The only difference is how the interface appears. So keep note of that. So once you can get yourself to be here, I think you have made a great headway. Okay. So once we are here, I would ditch this guy terminal or the command prompt, and then start using the terminal from Visual Studio Code. So let's click terminal from your window, whether you're on Mac um, or, 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 or PC, which is Windows. You can open a terminal from Visual Studio Code. Okay, from the file menu. There are other menus at there. There will be terminal. Then you click on new terminal. It will launch a terminal or a command prompt within your project environment. So once that terminal is open in Visual Studio Code, because the terminal is open for the project, you can actually execute the what's it called, Expo commands. Because this project is an Expo file, it's an Expo project. We can actually execute Expo commands within this project. And the reason why it is possible is because of this folder here. The node models that are available and the node packages that are available, it has enabled us to have access to Expo, which is a library within the node model, which is going to be accessible from here. Now, this is a little bit confusing or complicated for first timers, but this is what I want you to keep in mind. To run commands within this project, you'll be using npx as the prefix. That's what you should start with within the project. Npx should be the first thing you should start with to run any command regarding Expo or anything regarding the project. Now, to do an installation of libraries, which is usually JavaScript libraries from Node, right? You can use npm and write install, then you install, or you can do npx, but you have to prefix it with expo. Then you now can do install, and then you write the library name, right? It is the same to do the same thing. But make sure that if you are running any command, that will be for the project. If you are doing npx, then always you should start with expo or any other expo command that will be available. We'll talk about that in detail. So let's run nps expo start to start the interactive sections of expo, so our project can be pushed to the Expo Go app. So I'm getting the app ready on my phone. I'm using an iPhone. So I'll be switching to the phone shortly. Now we ran into an issue. Let me show you. This is the issue, which is this error. Now this error is saying em file, too many open file, watch, event, blah 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 blah. Now this error can be common for Mac users, especially if you have not installed Watchman on your Mac. If or your Watchman is outdated. In my case, mine had been outdated a little because I installed a new node. But then it can be easily fixed with a simple command. I will show you the command. I've just run the command here. It can be fixed with brew upgrade. This is the command. Brew upgrade watchman. Brew upgrade watchman. Now it's a simple command, and if you have not installed watchman on your Mac, you can just run brew install watchman. If you are using Windows, I think it will be hard for me to help you out with watchman, but let me tell you essentially what watchman is supposed to be doing. Watchman is supposed to be monitoring the files in your projects, and the changes that will happen. It will just allow Expo to update the changes in your code directly without having to refresh or restart the project. I mean, when the interactive session is running in Expo Go, you will not have to do any reload. It will just affect the changes immediately. So Watchman is necessary for you to run. You can do that by running the command brew install or upgrade, depending on whether you have installed or not. Now, once you are done, everything will be done. You can run npx post start again, as we did, and you should have it running successfully for you. So let me rerun this. I've already done the running before, so once it's running, I'll show you my screen for my phone and how I am going to connect it to start loading the app. Now you need to have this QR code. You need to scan the QR code with your phone. If you are using an iPhone, you can just use your camera to scan it to generate the QR code and the link to you to connect to your phone. And mind you, you have to be on the same network as the one your phone has, okay? Or you can use your phone as a hotspot. In my case, I'm using my phone as a hotspot to the my laptop, so that I can connect. So do it that way, then you can now connect that. Okay. So it will load a little. If yours is for the first time, if you are anyone else for the first time, to take some few minutes before it will finish loading the file to your Expo, before now your file will run. So that will be that for the screen. But as you can see here, I'm going to demonstrate it on the phone for you to see. Okay, so thank you for watching.